me, caves are really living things. They breathe with air moving through them. They show us things and teach us things about ourselves, and they're always there.
You would really have to stumble right on top of it to find it, and it's got an entrance that can be hidden, so you could walk around for a long time if you didn't know exactly where it was. Go into the cave and go see if we can find it under all this snow. Maybe some air is coming up through this. Under that gate right there, 4 miles of known passage, and who knows how much unknown passage.
Whenever I get to the entrance of a cave, I always feel a slight bit of apprehension.
You're about to hang your life and the integrity of your body, all from this guy right here, all attached to that rope system. And if any component in that system fails, there's a potential for injury or death falling, so your senses clarify a little.
I think a huge part of the challenge will be mental and just overcoming that fear I have.
You never really know what to expect, even if you have a play-by-play description of the cave from someone, so you got to feel a little bit of nervous energy.
Caving isn't the final frontier, but on this planet it's one of the few final frontiers left.
There are squeezes that are tight for people who are a little bit bigger. There are squeezes that are tight or awkward for people who are a little bit longer, and for people who are shorter because you can't reach the handholds or footholds when you go through. Having a wall on my back and a wall on my stomach and my head sideways with my helmet jammed into the rock, one arm forward and one arm back, my feet flailing in space behind me and I can't see my footholds, so I'm stuck, and the only way to kind of get through is to sort of exhale, and you're not moving very quickly, and then you start to think, okay, what if, and then you feel your heartbeat against the rock.
My father once was a caver as well, and he told me a story as a very little kid. A fellow who was caving, and he was going through a small passage, and his body moving through that passage shifted a rock above him, and that rock settled down and pinched him into a small place, and he found himself stuck there. And in the end, it was a very sad and fatal situation for that individual. That story always plays through my head when I'm looking at a small passage.
I think it's always frustrating in a cave to have to turn around. As long as the passage is going, I guess there's always going to be a point B.
John, can you pull this arm? I'm sorry, man. Thank you. That was the assisted cave squeeze. Panic was edging itself in when, you know, there's no real good foothold or knee hold, and you're just really holding yourself up by your armpits. It's a pretty uncomfortable position. So the fear of being sort of stuck there is very present. Sometimes you'll be crawling through a real tight, nasty, wet, dusty hole or something like that, and the next thing you know, you pop out into an enormous room where you could fit a jet plane, and your voice is echoing off the walls, and your light can't touch the ceiling or the walls, and just that feeling of being in such a large space underground that potentially no one has ever been in before is truly thrilling.
Everything's really dark, and you're kind of like moving your headlamp around, and you're seeing more and more formations. And so I think the excitement is slow to arrive when you discover something new. It takes a long time to get a big picture of what you're discovering.
It's like you get to go into that photograph that inspires you, that makes you filled with wonder, and it's real, and it fills your senses. You're there.
As I got a little bit older and got to see more caves, I began to appreciate how beautiful they are, and just to take a look at the small things in a cave and appreciate all the processes that not only made the cave, but all the secondary stuff that came into the cave, the formations.
It's very fulfilling that you don't get to just see it all at once. It's kind of like, wow, I discovered something, and you get to look in all the nooks and crannies and piece together how marvelous the cave really is.
Excitement for me when I'm caving feels like a sense of awe, a sense of wonder. Often when I'm most amazed, it comes along with a sense of disbelief. How does that happen? How can rock be that way?
the processes that go into making these things are slow, and damage is quite obvious when it happens. And so you have to be really careful about how you travel through a cave, and the more people that know about it, just sort of is intuitive that the more damage you risk to it. There have been caves that are really beautiful that have been destroyed because of careless and or purposeful vandalism. And for people who love these places, it's very frustrating. I've been shocked by traveling into caves that are really well known and seeing how far back in a cave a person can take a 6-pack of beer. Secrecy will always play a role in visiting caves, an important role. They don't just belong to me or us. They belong to the animals that live in it. They belong to the mountain ranges that they're found in. They're beautiful and unique places on our planet that have to be respected.
I don't know, every time I leave a cave I feel very satisfied and very at peace. Tired. I've definitely spent more time crawling than any grown man should, I think.
Got it.
Good times. Judging by the amount of limestone, there's only 10% of the caves have been discovered, so there's potentially just enormous voids still waiting underground, just waiting to crack open so that humans can slither into them and explore them.
How's it feel to be on the surface?
It's bright, but every time you come out, the wind feels good and the sunlight is beautiful. I want to go back in, but you always want to come back up too.